The night shift at Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station was usually quiet. Tom Miller had worked here for 15 years, and most nights involved nothing more exciting than tracking known satellites and space debris. But tonight was different. The readings on his screen made no sense. "Sir, you need to see this." Tom called out to his supervisor, Robert Hayes. The older man walked over, coffee cup in hand, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the monitors. "What have you got?" "These energy signatures. They're massive. And they're slowing down at the edge of our solar system." Robert nearly dropped his coffee. The readings showed multiple objects, each larger than anything humans had ever built, decelerating from near-light speed. He reached for the red phone, the one they'd all been trained never to use unless absolutely necessary. Within 30 minutes, Admiral James Wilson stood in the Global Defense Council's underground chamber. The massive circular room, buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, had never seen all 50 seats filled at once. Today, every screen on the wall showed a concerned face, and every leather chair held a nervous official. "Ladies and gentlemen," Wilson began, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding on the screens behind him. "At 300 hours UTC, our deep space monitoring stations detected multiple objects entering our solar system. These objects are artificial in nature and show signs of advanced propulsion technology." The room erupted in whispers. A woman from the European Union raised her hand. "Admiral, are we certain these aren't natural phenomena?" Wilson shook his head. "The objects are maintaining formation and actively decelerating. Natural objects don't do that." He pressed a button, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. Current calculations put them at roughly the size of small moons. "They're slowing down to enter our solar system." The council members watched in silence as the hologram showed the massive ship's trajectory. Their path would bring them directly to Earth. "How long?" someone asked. "At their current speed, they'll reach Earth orbit in approximately 72 hours. The tension in the room grew thicker. Humanity had long prepared for this moment, but now that it was here, the weight of it felt overwhelming. Then it happened. Every screen in the room flickered, and a message appeared. The symbols were alien, but they shifted and reformed into English before their eyes. "To the inhabitants of the third planet, your civilization has been monitored and found worthy of assimilation into the greater collective. Submit within 72 of your hours or face extinction. Resistance is not advised. Your technological level has been assessed as primitive. Any attempt at defense will result in immediate hostile action." Admiral Wilson read the message twice, his face betraying no emotion. He'd trained for this, they all had, but the reality of it still sent a chill down his spine. "They're scanning us," reported a technician through the speakers. "Passive scans only, but they're thorough." Wilson allowed himself a small smile. The aliens were scanning exactly what Earth wanted them to see. An unorganized, relatively primitive civilization with basic space capabilities and scattered military resources. They couldn't detect the quantum-shielded facilities buried deep underground, or the advanced defense systems hidden in dimensional pockets around the planet. "Let them look," Wilson said quietly. "Let them think they know what they're dealing with." He turned to the council. "Ladies and gentlemen, I recommend we activate the Sleeping Giant Protocol. Our visitors have given us 72 hours. Let's use them wisely." The vote was unanimous. For the first time in human history, the entire council raised their hands in perfect agreement. As Wilson left the chamber, he couldn't help but think about the irony of the situation. These aliens, whoever they were, had just made the same mistake that so many others had made throughout human history. They'd underestimated their opponent. They thought Earth was defenseless. They thought humans were primitive. They were wrong. On the surface, Earth appeared to be in chaos. News of the alien ultimatum had leaked, and cities worldwide erupted in panic. Traffic jammed the highways as people fled urban areas. Grocery stores were emptied within hours. The scenes of disorder played out exactly as expected. But deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Lisa Reed watched the chaos with quiet satisfaction. "The best place to hide," she muttered, "is in plain sight." She stood in the heart of the Guardian Control Center, a massive chamber filled with holographic displays and quantum computers. The room buzzed with purposeful activity as technicians worked at their stations, each focused on their vital tasks. "Status report," she called out. "Orbital platforms powering up on schedule, Commander," replied Mike Foster, her chief engineer. "The aliens are still only detecting our decoy satellites. The real defense grid remains invisible." Lisa nodded. The primitive satellites the aliens saw were merely the tip of the iceberg. Earth's true orbital defense system had been hidden for decades, powered down and wrapped in quantum fields that made them undetectable. "What about Project Guardian?" she asked. "The AI core is at 90% initialization. All systems are green." Guardian was humanity's greatest secret, an artificial intelligence designed specifically for planetary defense. Unlike the crude AI the public knew about, Guardian was generations ahead, capable of coordinating Earth's entire defense network with impossible speed and precision. On one of the main screens, Lisa watched the alien fleet's position. They remained at the edge of the solar system, probably feeling confident in their superiority. Their scans continued to show them exactly what Earth wanted them to see: outdated military bases, primitive weapon systems, and panicking populations. "Commander," called out David Thompson from his station, "the underground ARC facilities report all civilians successfully evacuated. The bunker networks are sealed and running silent." For years, humanity had prepared for this moment. While the public saw typical infrastructure projects, vast underground cities had been built beneath every major population center. Now, those hidden sanctuaries were filling with civilians, protected by technology the aliens couldn't detect. "Time to initiate Phase 2, Lisa announced. She pressed her palm against a biometric scanner, and a new set of holographic controls appeared. "Begin powering up the quantum defense grid. Keep everything in passive mode only. We don't want them detecting any energy signatures." Around the planet, hidden generators began charging the most advanced defensive system ever created by humans. The power draw was masked by the apparent chaos on the surface. All those panicking people using up electricity made for excellent cover. "Message from Admiral Wilson," reported the communications officer. "The Global Defense Council has completed their evacuation. All world leaders are now secure in the Omega Bunker." Lisa allowed herself a small smile. The aliens thought they were forcing humanity to its knees. In reality, they were watching a carefully choreographed performance. Years of planning and preparation were paying off. Earth's true capabilities remained completely hidden. "Commander," Mike called out suddenly. "Guardian reports initialization complete. The AI is online and running final systems checks." The main display flickered, and a simple message appeared. "Guardian active. Defense protocols INITIALIZD. Awaiting authorization." Lisa took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. Either their preparations would prove sufficient, but she pushed that thought aside. They had planned for this. They were ready. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Sleeping Giant is now in Phase 2. Maintain radio silence except for prearranged panic transmissions. Let our visitors think we're running scared." As her orders were relayed, Lisa watched the alien fleet on the main display. They had no idea what was waiting for them. They expected to find a primitive civilization cowering in fear. Instead, they were about to discover humanity's greatest talent: the ability to surprise its enemies. The trap was set. Now they just had to wait for the aliens to spring it. The alien ships entered the inner solar system like dark clouds blocking out the stars. Their massive forms dwarfed anything humanity had ever built, or at least anything the aliens could see. Earth's orbital monitoring stations captured stunning images of the fleet. 12 massive warships, each one bigger than a small city. In the command center, Admiral Wilson stood watching the main display. The alien ships had just passed Mars, their black hulls reflecting the distant sunlight. "They're not even trying to hide," he said to no one in particular. "They want us to see them coming." The aliens' confidence was clear in every move they made. Their ships flew in perfect formation, making no attempt to shield themselves or take defensive positions. Why should they? Their scans showed only primitive human defenses, a few outdated satellites, and some basic missile systems. "Message incoming," announced the communications officer. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." The alien commander's voice filled the room, translated by their technology into flat, emotionless English. "Your time grows short. We detect your pitiful attempts to evacuate your cities. Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. Submit now, and we will be merciful." Wilson exchanged glances with his staff. The aliens' arrogance was almost amusing, if it wasn't so dangerous. They truly believed they were dealing with a helpless, primitive species. "Show me their current course," Wilson ordered. The holographic display zoomed out, showing the alien fleet's trajectory. They were headed straight for Earth, their massive engines pushing them forward with incredible power. At their current speed, they would reach Earth's orbit in less than 24 hours. "Sir," called out Mark Peters from the sensor station, "their energy readings are off the charts. Each ship is generating more power than all of Earth's visible power plants combined." Wilson nodded. "And how's our real power grid looking?" "Running silent, sir. The quantum shielding is holding. They can't detect anything below the surface or in our dimensional pockets." On the screens around the room, news footage showed continuing chaos on Earth's surface. Riots in major cities, military vehicles moving into position, politicians making desperate speeches, all part of the plan. All carefully orchestrated to maintain the illusion of panic. "Sir," Mark called out again. "The aliens are launching smaller craft. Looks like scout ships." Hundreds of smaller vessels poured out of the massive warships, spreading out in a web-like pattern. They were mapping Earth's defenses, preparing for their attack. Or so they thought. "Let them look around," Wilson said calmly. "They'll find exactly what we want them to find." The scout ships darted through space, their sensors probing Earth's atmosphere. They found the expected mix of military bases, missile silos, and communication centers, all carefully crafted decoys, built over decades for exactly this purpose. "Admiral," called out the communications officer. "Commander Reed reports GUARDIN is tracking every scout ship. The AI has mapped their sensor capabilities and confirmed our stealth systems are working perfectly." Wilson allowed himself a small smile. The aliens were so busy looking at Earth's apparent weaknesses, they hadn't noticed the subtle energy fluctuations in orbit, the barely visible distortions in space where humanity's real defenses waited. "Their arrogance will be their downfall," Wilson said quietly. "They think they're the hunters, but they're walking right into our trap." The alien fleet continued its advance, their massive ships now clearly visible from Earth's surface. Millions of people watched the sky in fear, not knowing that deep underground, humanity's real power waited. The aliens would learn too late that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating humans was a deadly mistake. The final countdown had begun. In less than 24 hours, the aliens would launch their attack, and Earth would be ready. The alien fleet made its first move at exactly midnight UTC. Brilliant beams of energy shot from their warships, targeting Earth's satellite network. The sky lit up as hundreds of communications satellites exploded, creating a beautiful but terrifying light show visible from the ground. In the GUARDIN control center, Commander Lisa Reed watched calmly as the destruction unfolded. "They took the bait," she said softly. The satellites being destroyed were decoys, packed with just enough real technology to fool the alien scans. Earth's actual communication network remained safely hidden in dimensional pockets, completely invisible to the enemy. "Enemy ships are moving into attack formation," reported Mike Foster. They're positioning themselves over major population centers. The massive alien vessels spread out across the globe, their huge forms blocking out the stars as they moved into position. From the ground, they looked like dark mountains floating in the sky, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. "Time to start Phase 1, Lisa ordered. She pressed her palm against the control panel, and the room's lighting shifted to deep red. "Begin the counterattack." Around the world, Earth's apparent defensive systems sprang to life. Missile silos opened, fighter jets took off from military bases, and ground-based laser systems powered up. All of them were elaborate decoys designed to draw the aliens' attention and fire. The alien response was immediate and overwhelming. Their energy weapons lashed out, destroying the approaching fighters and missiles with ease. Their targeting was perfect, their weapons unstoppable, but they were destroying nothing but carefully crafted illusions. "Sir," called out David Thompson, "Guardian reports the aliens are fully committed to engaging our decoy forces. Their sensors are focused on our surface defenses." Lisa nodded. Everything was going according to plan. While the aliens were busy destroying fake weapons and empty bases, Earth's real defense grid was powering up, hidden behind quantum shields and dimensional technology. "They're launching their ground forces," Mike reported. "Dropships are entering the atmosphere." Thousands of alien craft descended through Earth's atmosphere, heading for the evacuated cities below. They expected to find panicked humans trying to flee. Instead, they found empty streets and buildings. The real population was safe in underground bunkers, protected by technology the aliens couldn't detect. "Guardian has analyzed their weapon systems," David announced. "The AI confirms our countermeasures will be effective." Lisa watched as the alien dropships landed in city after city. Their ground forces spread out, securing empty buildings and deserted streets. Their confusion was evident in their movements. They had expected resistance, panic, something. Instead, they found only silence. "Commander," Mike called out suddenly. "They're scanning deeper now. They're trying to find the population." "Let them look," Lisa replied. "The quantum shielding will hold. They can't detect anything below the surface." On the main display, the alien forces continued their advance into empty cities. Their massive ships hung in the sky, weapons ready but finding no targets. Their carefully planned invasion was meeting no resistance, and that clearly made them nervous. "Message from Admiral Wilson," reported the communications officer. "All systems are go. Guardian has full authorization to proceed with Phase 2. Lisa took a deep breath. This was the moment they had prepared for. The aliens thought they had won without a fight, that humanity had simply fled in terror. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Begin power-up sequence for the quantum defense grid," she ordered. "Keep all systems in stealth mode until my mark." Around the planet, hidden generators hummed to life. In orbit, invisible defense platforms began charging their weapons. The trap was nearly ready to spring. The aliens had just made their first strike. They would soon learn it was also their last. Admiral Wilson stood in the command center, watching the alien forces spread across Earth's empty cities. The time had come. "Send the signal," he ordered. "Let's show our visitors what humanity is really capable of." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Lisa Reed received the authorization. She pressed her hand against the command console and spoke clearly. "Guardian, execute protocol revelation." The AI's response was immediate. Around the planet, dimensional pockets began to open. The quantum shields that had hidden Earth's true defenses for decades started to fade away. The aliens' first warning came from their sensor officers, who suddenly detected massive energy signatures appearing out of nowhere. "Energy grid fully powered," Mike Foster announced. "All defense platforms are online and targeting." In orbit, hundreds of advanced defense satellites emerged from their hidden positions. They were nothing like the primitive decoys the aliens had destroyed earlier. These platforms bristled with weapons that even the aliens had never seen before. The alien fleet reacted quickly, their weapons turning to target the newly appeared threats. But they were too late. Earth's defensive grid was already active, creating an energy web that surrounded the entire planet. Guardian reports shield network is stable, David Thompson called out. The aliens' weapons cannot penetrate our quantum barriers. On the main display, the alien ships fired their energy weapons at Earth's defenses. Their beams, which had easily destroyed the decoy satellites, now splashed harmlessly against the quantum shields. The aliens tried again and again, each shot just as ineffective as the last. Lisa watched with satisfaction as the alien fleet began to show signs of panic. Their perfect formation broke apart as they tried to find gaps in Earth's defenses. But there were no gaps to find. All ground forces are now sealed in containment fields, Mike reported. The alien troops in our cities can't move or communicate with their ships. The trapped alien soldiers found themselves frozen in place, caught in quantum stasis fields that had been built into every major city years ago. Their advanced weapons and armor were useless against technology they didn't even know existed. Guardian has completed analysis of their shield systems, David announced. The AI has found the frequency weakness. We can bypass their defenses completely. In orbit, Earth's defense platforms adjusted their weapons. The aliens had powerful shields, but they were designed to stop known types of attacks. They had no defense against quantum-phased energy beams that could simply ignore their shields entirely. The alien fleet is trying to retreat, Mike called out. They're powering up their main engines. Not today, Lisa said firmly. Guardian, activate the gravity wells. Hidden generators around Earth activated, creating localized distortions in space. The alien ships suddenly found themselves unable to move, caught in artificial gravity fields that even their powerful engines couldn't overcome. Admiral Wilson watched from the command center as the situation reversed completely. In just minutes, Earth had gone from appearing defenseless to revealing its true power. The alien fleet, which had arrived so confidently, was now trapped and vulnerable. Send the message, Wilson ordered. All across the alien fleet, screens lit up with a simple transmission. You thought Earth was defenseless. You thought humans were primitive. You were wrong. Your ships are now our property. Your troops are our prisoners. Any further hostile action will be met with immediate destruction. The aliens had come expecting an easy victory over a primitive civilization. Instead, they found themselves caught in humanity's carefully laid trap, facing technology they couldn't understand or counter. The real battle was about to begin. And this time, Earth had all the advantages. The alien fleet made one last desperate attempt to escape. Their massive ships fired all weapons at once, creating a spectacular light show in Earth's orbit. But their energy beams couldn't penetrate the quantum shields, and their ships remained trapped in the gravity wells. Their main reactor outputs are climbing, Mike Foster reported from his station. They're trying to overpower our gravity traps. Commander Lisa Reed nodded calmly. Just as Guardian predicted. Begin Phase 3. Around the planet, Earth's hidden fleet emerged from their dimensional pockets. Sleek warships, far more advanced than anything the aliens had seen before, appeared in perfect formation. These weren't the crude rockets or primitive spacecraft the aliens had expected. These ships represented the peak of human military technology, kept secret for exactly this moment. Admiral Wilson's voice came through the command channel. All ships, engage at will. Disable their weapons first. Earth's fleet moved with incredible precision, guided by Guardian's artificial intelligence. Their quantum-phased weapons struck straight through the alien shields, targeting weapon systems with surgical accuracy. The aliens tried to return fire, but their weapons couldn't lock onto ships that seemed to shift in and out of normal space. First alien vessel disabled, David Thompson announced. Their main weapons are offline. One by one, the massive alien ships lost their ability to fight back. Their supposedly superior technology proved useless against weapons they couldn't understand and defenses they couldn't breach. The proud fleet that had arrived to conquer Earth was being systematically taken apart. Enemy ships attempting internal self-destruct. Mike called out. "They're trying to deny us their technology." "Not today," Lisa said firmly. "Guardian, initiate containment protocol." The AI responded instantly. Special beams from Earth's defense platforms struck each alien ship, surrounding them in quantum fields that blocked all internal power systems. The self-destruct attempts failed as every energy source on their ships was neutralized. In the cities below, the trapped alien ground forces could only watch helplessly as their fleet was defeated above them. Their advanced armor and weapons, now powerless, were no more useful than decorations. "Commander," David reported with a hint of excitement, "Guardian has successfully accessed their main computer systems. We're downloading their entire database." Lisa allowed herself a small smile. Not only had they defeated the alien fleet, but they would also gain access to all their technological knowledge. Earth's defenses would become even stronger after this. "Message from their fleet commander," Mike announced. They're asking for terms of surrender." The command center fell silent. The aliens who had arrived so confidently, demanding Earth's submission, were now the ones admitting defeat. Their arrogance had led them straight into humanity's trap. Admiral Wilson's hologram appeared in the center of the room. "Commander Reed, begin capture procedures. I want those ships secured and their crews detained. We'll show them more mercy than they plan to show us." Earth's fleet moved into position around each disabled alien vessel. Special boarding teams, equipped with quantum phase technology, prepared to transport aboard. The aliens would soon learn that human civilization wasn't just more advanced than they'd thought. It was also more honorable. "Send this message to their commander," Wilson ordered. "Your forces are defeated. Your ships are captured. Your troops are contained. But unlike you, we do not destroy those we defeat. Surrender now, and you will be treated fairly." The response came quickly. The alien fleet, once so mighty and confident, had no choice but to accept Earth's terms. Their attempted conquest had turned into unconditional surrender. The battle was over. Humanity had not just survived, they had triumphed completely. And the galaxy was about to learn that Earth was not a planet to be threatened lightly. 1 week after the battle, Admiral Wilson stood before the Global Defense Council, now meeting in their regular chamber rather than the underground bunker. The massive alien ships, now safely contained in Earth orbit, were visible through the chamber's transparent ceiling. "The cleanup operation is complete," Wilson reported. "All alien ground forces have been secured, and their ships are under our control. Guardian has finished analyzing their technology." The council members listened intently as Wilson continued. The aliens' database had revealed much about the galaxy beyond Earth's solar system. They weren't the only advanced civilization out there, but they were one of the most aggressive. "What about their home civilization?" asked one of the council members. "Should we expect retaliation?" Wilson smiled slightly. "Actually, we've already handled that." "Commander Reed, would you like to explain?" Lisa Reed stepped forward, her uniform crisp and neat despite the long hours she'd been working. "We sent them a message using their own communication technology. Along with the message, we transmitted proof of how easily we defeated their fleet. Their response came this morning." She pressed a button, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed the alien fleet's destruction from multiple angles, clearly demonstrating how helpless they had been against Earth's defenses. "Their government has agreed to recognize Earth as a sovereign power," Lisa continued. "They've also agreed to pay reparations for their attempted invasion. More importantly, they're spreading the word to other civilizations. Earth is not to be threatened." The council chamber erupted in applause. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had also established its position as a major galactic power in a single stroke. "There is one more matter to discuss," Wilson said as the applause died down. "The public still doesn't know the full truth. They believe we got lucky, that we barely survived. They don't know about Guardian, the quantum defense grid, or our real technological capabilities." The room grew quiet. This was the debate they'd been avoiding. Should humanity reveal its true level of advancement to its own people? Perhaps, Lisa suggested, it's time for a gradual revelation. We can introduce our technology slowly, letting people adjust to each new discovery. We can use the captured alien ships as cover, claiming we reversed engineered some of their technology. The council members nodded thoughtfully. It was a good compromise. The truth could come out slowly, allowing society to adapt rather than face a sudden shock. And what about our new prisoners? Another council member asked. The alien crews. They're learning, Wilson replied. Learning that humans aren't the primitive species they thought we were. Some have even expressed interest in cooperation, especially after seeing how we treated them after their surrender. The next few hours were spent planning Earth's future. With access to the alien database and their own advanced technology, humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. But they would do it carefully, wisely, maintaining their defensive capabilities while extending the hand of peace. In the Guard-Ian Control Center, Mike Foster and David Thompson watched the alien ships through their monitoring systems. The once mighty vessels were now study projects for Earth scientists, their technology being analyzed to improve humanity's own capabilities even further. You know what's funny? Mike said to David. They came here thinking they were so superior, but they never stopped to ask one simple question. Why would a planet with such basic visible technology have survived this long in a dangerous galaxy? David laughed. Sometimes the best defense is letting your enemies underestimate you. Above them, Earth's real defense grid remained vigilant, most of it still hidden from view. The aliens had learned an expensive lesson. Appearances could be deceiving, especially when dealing with humans. They had challenged Earth's defenses, and they would never return. But more importantly, they had helped humanity announce its presence to the galaxy, not as an easy target, but as a force to be respected and perhaps even feared.